And one of them mentioned something about someone that I once dated. It's not that I want to get ahead of anything or that I am ashamed of anything, but a quick story time. So I dated the brother of the world's the most famous city boy of all time. And he was also my former boss some years ago. And I'm talking about former Washington, D.C. Mayor Adrian Fenty. If you don't know, Adrian Fenty dated, and I heard still currently dates, the wife of Steve Jobs' widow, Lauren Jobs.
What a money reside, what a money reside.
Who is the 8th richest woman in the world, not in the U.S., in the world. And I probably agree that qualifies him as the top city boy of all time. And I briefly dated his brother. I'm not going to show his picture because could get in trouble for that. I don't know. Jesse Fenty, who is a patent attorney for a brief time. Full disclosure, I am making up no excuses or explanations really here. When I dated Jesse Fenty, I did not realize modestly and humbly, I say this, that I was a cute, badass bitch. In my mind, in my head, I still thought I was this 300-pound fat girl. And how could this handsome attorney, I thought he was handsome, from an important family want me? And I acted like the fat and insecure girl in the relationship. And when he rejected me and cheated on me with the secretary from his job, she was Colombian. I had went over his house with food. We had a relationship where we popped up at each other's homes. He popped up at my house with gardening shit when I wasn't there. Had popped up at his house with food. I just knew through his energy, like he was blocking the door. He wouldn't let me in. And just some animal kingdom woman intuition in me, I immediately said, is your ex in there? He was like, yeah, I want to be with her. I don't want to be with you anymore. And here comes the TMI part. I was dating him around the time when my grandfather, who I was very close to, had died.
Let me get you some kisses. You need kisses? Mwah!
And he and I had a conversation. I told him I was feeling bad because I was my grandfather's only grandchild that didn't have kids, and they didn't get to experience him. And Jesse and I jointly decided to try to get pregnant. So after one night, we were partying. We went drinking at some random club out in PG and Lanham. It was inside of a hotel, but it was grimy. It was OGs in there, played music real good. We was dancing. It was lit. And I was like, let's go to Stadium Strip Club after that. We got lit some more. And we came home to his house in Tacoma Park and tried to make a baby. And I'm sorry, I'm speaking in circles a little bit. So anyways, back to, I had popped up at his house with food. This is like 3-4 days after we tried to make a baby, and I let him ejaculate me. Let me just speak freely. And he's cheating with his Colombian secretary. So my emotions are like, what the fuck? And full disclosure, boom, I socked his ass. And I also broke out his window, and I got in trouble and charged for that because this is the former mayor's brother. And I do have a record for that. And I had to go to a domestic violence class because I was a first-time offender for like 36 weeks. And I was just going to say, the women that were in this class, they really did some shit. It was like a domestic violence class. They really did. I'm sorry, their asses shouldn't have been in the class. Forgive me, and then y'all remember me from that class. All those women in there belonged in jail. The whole time I had to sit in this circle with these women, and this farmer, Karen Farmer with, I think, C. Sosa, conducted the class. The whole time I was in that class like, bitch. And anyways, so if anyone wanted to say she has a past too, she's trying to act like she's so perfect from her family. And I got more of a past that I can tell you about. But let me let you know something. Anything you know about me, you think you know about me, you think I'm ashamed, I don't give a fuck. And in telling this story, I'm sorry, I just also mentioned Karen Farmer's name. Karen Farmer was the woman who conducted this domestic violence class. And at that time, I was very broken. First of all, I was heartbroken. I had lost my grandfather. I was embarrassed that I had gotten in trouble with the courts. I had to spend the night in a DC jail. I was embarrassed. And Karen Farmer is one of the women in my life that helped me put me back together when I made some piss poor decisions. So that's all.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poorest part.